It was just seemed like Puff and Tupac was like a couple. Seemed like to me, it was just a lot of weird shit going on. You know what I'm saying? The vibes ain't there. I guess that's what Tupac was talking about, the Illuminati and shit. It's like Vivica Fox was with this big gay man. He was 6'9". They called him his name 6'9". He had the red hair with a big old booty. No, he was gay no more. What the?
You know that Will R-worded me, or however y'all kind of say it on YouTube. You know that Diddy at me, and you know Charlie Mack made me suck his private.
Bryshere Gray is finally spilling the tea about all the celebrities who he knows for a fact got infected at Will Smith's rumored mansion parties, and this list will shock you. The allegations about Will being gay ain't anything new, but having wild parties where people got infected with all kinds of STDs is definitely new info we didn't see coming. And to make matters even worse, it's also being alleged that this is the real reason Jada was getting her back blown by August. Apparently, she and Will have a nasty open marriage, meaning he gets to get freaky with whoever he wants, and she also gets to do the same with other men. In fact, Will's former assistant gave us a little rundown of this not too long ago, but everyone slammed him for being a liar. Fast forward a few months, and everything he said is seemingly being confirmed by Bryshere. In fact, it turns out that just days before Cassie hit Diddy with that lawsuit, there were already going around that Will and Diddy allegedly got into it back in the day over J-Lo, and this tea came from Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal. So, of course, people were quick to believe it. According to Gene, Will was trying to get a little too friendly with J-Lo back when she was still with Diddy, and Diddy wasn't having it. We were at a birthday party that I think either Matt Damon was giving for Ben Affleck. It was just a little gathering that was at the Four Seasons. Will Smith and his sister and her husband, we were all sitting on this side of Music the Room. Matt Damon, a Ben Affleck, Jennifer Lopez, Puff, Will Smith, and a Jada, they were sitting on the other side of the room. So I know Puff so well that he stood up. When he stood up, he walked and did his arms some kind of way and then he was like this, and I went over towards him. I know to go over there towards him. So I go over towards him, and he said to me, he said, "Yo, I think Will and Jada is trying to scoop up Jennifer. I want you to stay close 'cause I'm a snuffer." Laughter. I snorts, said to myself, Will Smith going to beat the A__A out of you? Laughter. Now, puff 'cause crap now, but I don't think he could beat Will Smith. And once that story hit the internet, people immediately started wondering if Will and Jada were already comfortable moving around Diddy, because this wasn't their first time being involved in that type of freaky industry mess. Music, and of course, we can't talk about Will's alleged gay relationships without bringing up the infamous Facebook post that Arquette made about Will being DL. Made this allegation when a video of Will forcing Jaden to kiss him went viral. Music, when Jada comes out as gay and her beard husband admits his first marriage ended when she walked in on him servicing. Music, his sugar daddy Benny Medina, then I will listen to them. Now, at the time, people didn't really know what to think about all those Will rumors. Some music folks thought it was just messy internet gossip, but now, with all these recent allegations involving Bryshere Gray, people music are starting to look back at those old stories a whole lot differently. Word on the street is that once Bryshere finally started getting his foot in the Hollywood door, his former manager, Charlie Mack, and his mama, Andrea, allegedly made the terrible decision to hand him over to Will and Diddy under the disguise of mentorship. Allegedly, music. The plan was that Diddy was supposed to help Bryshere sharpen his music skills since he wanted to be a rapper, too, while Will was supposed to help him grow as an actor. Sounds like a dream opportunity, right? But baby, according to several industry whistleblowers, that is not what ended up happening behind closed doors. Music. They claim Bryshere barely got the mentorship he was promised, and instead, he was allegedly exposed to the same disturbing industry lifestyle. Music that has ruined so many young stars before him. They both bisexual. They do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mill, Bryshere Gray, left that house screaming. August is the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a dog. Now, at first, people were trying to figure out whether Charlie Mack and Bryshere's mom, Andrea, actually knew what was happening to him behind the scenes. Because, let's be real, if all this stuff was supposedly going on, didn't nobody notice? Did nobody see a change in him? Did he never try to tell anyone? I mean, there's no way he could be going through that much and not show signs that something was wrong. Even if he didn't tell Charlie or his mom directly, people were asking why there wasn't anybody around him who could step in and protect him. Well, that's when Terrence Howard jumped into the chat, music, and made some never-heard-before allegations. Mind you, Terrence was still working with Bryshere on Empire around the same time this so-called mentorship was happening, making one of the few people who saw Bryshere spiral behind the scenes in real time. You know, well, when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card. What is that?
What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to be in a man. A man don't take it. A man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back. Are you saying what I think you're saying? I'm saying what I'm saying.
You don't get that back.
You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right. But when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and kicked out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. And as if this whole Bryshere situation couldn't get any messier, Jaguar Wright came back around and started dropping even more details about what Will and Diddy allegedly put him through behind the scenes. According to Jaguar, the reason Bryshere's mother Andrea allegedly allowed him to be around those powerful men in the first place was because money was involved. Basically, she claimed Andrea was being paid to look the other way while Bryshere was being exposed to things he never should have been around. And baby, Jaguar wasn't the only one speaking on it either. Will's former assistant, Bilal, also jumped into the conversation and claimed Bryshere actually confided in him about what allegedly happened with Will. According to Bilal, Bryshere was so traumatized that he started leaning on hard substances and escorts just to numb the pain and cope with everything. See, I'm talking about Bryschere's mom. I'ma kick you in your seeing, and I'ma go to work North Philly style. A_you and Charlie. You happy now? He's a gay porn star. Are you happy now, Andy? For a book that didn't sell. I hope that new husband of yours leaves you. And maybe it's time you tell your son why his father is really in jail, his biological father, for all of his life, and what you had to do with it. You and CIA, you hold them down cause he was like, Charlie Mack is not going to be able to be there. Cause him and Charlie had something else going on. I robbed in Chicago for Empire. It's a damn mess. There's no other way to put it. This dude is going crazy. But it doesn't stop there. Even after Bryshere finally got out of the mentorship, his life wasn't the same. He was jumping from one legal trouble to another, with the most recent one happening just in 2025. I went to this party. I was with Johnny Blaze. Your mama tried to lie and say she was there. She wasn't even there. Charlie tried to lie for this stuff, cause he coming up with all his tactics. In this, A__ though, and it carries with me. All these bad it's just because you didn't know. They made you the dad, and then tried to make you feel that's why clears throat. They don't want you in the country. They want you to look crazy so you don't have nothing to you can't cause so people won't believe you. But everybody already knows something ain't right. I'ma send you this thing from the Impressive channel, and she was talking about what Tasha K interview is. I don't know if you want to look at it, but if you don't, where things get interesting. It turns out that Bryshere wasn't the only one that Will allegedly did too. He was accused of doing it to August Alsina, a violinist, Brian King Joseph, and his son Jaden. In fact, the violinist, Music, went on to file a whole